Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you all are taking great care of yourself by staying home and staying safe. So let's start our today's English class. I am Fatima Kolsawala from Atmiya Green School, Jadeshwar. So let's continue our today's class with Unit 5, Section 1, The Women Painters of Mithila. We have already completed half the chapter's explanation, and so today we would be continuing with the remaining portion of this chapter. We have already seen that the paintings of Mithila got recognition during 1950s, or you can say early 1960s. Before that, one of the local collector named William Archer went to inspect the damage that happened to Mithila villages during the earthquake which happened in 1934. At that time, he noticed the wall and the floor paintings and he was charmed by the beauty of those paintings. So, next time, he took along with him his wife and photographed many of the paintings and got it published in the magazines. And this is how the paintings of Mithila got recognition all over the India. That means people came to know about the art that was being carried out by the women over there. But in 1966 again there was a drought in the same region. During that time, All India Handicraft Board sent an artist named Bhaskar Kulkarni to Mithila. She encouraged the women over there to start making paintings on commercial basis. That means to earn profit so that they can feed their families due to drought. So it became a non-agricultural income, and the women artists were encouraged to prepare the paintings, which was considered to be their tradition. Before, they used to make these paintings only during the time of religious ceremonies or some festivals. But now they started making it for commercial basis. That means to earn profit. Maithili paintings are known for its vibrant colors and striking colors. Once upon a time, it was written by the tribal women of northern Bihar. So, tribal women of northern Bihar used to make these paintings. These paintings are also known as Madhubani paintings because of the place where they are made. It is made in the place named Madhuban, which means the forest of honey. And this place is considered to be the largest district and one of the main centers of the art form. So, Mithila's largest district, that is Madhuban, and over there these paintings were made on the large scale. People over there used to make these paintings during their festivals or religious ceremonies, and so and it is also considered that Mithila is a birthplace of Sita, and also in ancient time Vedic learning flourished over there. That means Vedic learning, or you can say the education method which was used in prehistoric era. At that time those things flourished over there, and so the people over there already had such skills and talents. So they used to make these paintings, and these paintings have basically the same style. They normally prepare the abstract motifs. That means they make decorative images and symbols which represents their culture, and each tribe has their own different culture. So they used to prepare different paintings, different symbols which would represent their culture. These paintings were normally made in the three parts of their hut. That is, the first one is considered to be the place of worship. So there they used to make their household deities, their gods and goddesses. Second place is considered to be the heart of the hut. That is, the room is freshly plastered, and then they paint gods and goddesses pictures over there. And the third place is considered to be the outer walls of the hut. That is the courtyard where the guests are received. Over there also they make different images which are considered to be very beautiful. Normally the activity is carried out by drawing the outlines with a twig of bamboo, or you can say a branch of bamboo, and then once the outlines are done, they would brush it with the color, or that means they would fill the colors in that images by dipping the twigs of bamboo. They used to wrap it around with a cloth, and then they used to dip it in color and paint it. So before, the girls who was still learning this art, they used to assist their sisters, or you can say their elders, until they completely know this skill. Now let's continue with the remaining portion of the chapter. The figures of the paintings were determined by the occasion for which they are prepared. That means the paintings were done on the basis of occasion. They were dependent on the occasion on which they are being done. Usually these paintings are a combination of gods, goddesses, animals and flora. So these paintings are considered to be the combination of gods, goddesses, animals and flora. Flora means vegetation, or you can say the greenery. So the paintings combined these things. In 1950s and 60s, the government began to encourage artists to keeping this artistic tradition alive in 1950s and 60s. As we learned earlier, that during that time Indian scholars and artists visited those places, and at that time government also started encouraging the artists, that means the women artists over there, to keep their tradition alive. Thus this style of painting has acquired a new dimension. That means now it is considered to be totally a new field or a new area, or it has some added features along with it. So before, this painting was combination of gods, goddesses, animals and flora. Now the different artists use it for one's self-expression. That means this is a lot of individual artist self-expression. That means individual artists use this painting or use this art to express themselves. Whatever they feel, they can express it in the form of painting. So that's why it is considered to have a new dimension. That means it's not only a combination of gods, goddesses, animal and flora, but now many more things are done in the form of art or in the form of painting. Each artist now strives to establish their own unique style. That means each artist now makes great efforts to establish their own different style. Each one believes that they should have a different style while making the painting, right? Let's move on to the next paragraph. With the passage of time, there are other differences as well. Traditionally, they were done on walls or paper-made objects or on sheet of paper. So as the time goes on, or as the time keeps on moving, before it was done on paper make objects. So you can see the meaning of that. It's an art style where paper is mixed with glue and water to create sculptures. So before, it was done on walls and sculptures which were normally made with paper, glue and water and sheets of paper. But nowadays, because we in the cities demanded Mithila paintings with their sweeping lines and bright colors crop up on the clothes at craft bazaars, on greeting cards and pen stands, things that the villagers of Mithila would never dream of using. So before, it was just made on paper make objects and sheets of paper, but now, and it was done on the walls and the huts of the villagers, right? And it was done traditionally, and it was only done during the time of festivals and religious ceremonies. Then slowly, with the passage of time, the women over there started making it for commercial use. That means to make profit. And nowadays you can see the art or these work of painting in many other things, because of the people just like us who lives in cities, we demand that we want Mithila paintings on many other things except the walls or as a craft painting. So here you can see Mithila paintings with their sweeping lines and bright colors that has come up under cloths. That means कि ये जो पेंटिंग्स है या ये जो आर्ट है वो आर्ट सिर्फ वॉल पर नहीं किया जाता है, अब इट इज़ ऑल्सो डन ऑन द क्लोथ्स एट क्राफ्ट बाज़ार. यू कैन सी एट द क्राफ्ट बाज़ार. दैट मीन्स जो आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट का बाज़ार लगता है उसके अंदर आप कपड़े देखोगे तो उसके ऊपर आपको अलग अलग टाइप की पेंटिंग्स, जिसको मिथिला पेंटिंग्स के अंदर यूज़ किया जाता है, वैसी सारी डिज़ाइंस कपड़ों के ऊपर भी अभी की जाती है. इट इज़ ऑल्सो डन ऑन ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स एंड पेन स्टैंड्स. नाउ दीज आर द थिंग्स विच विलेजर्स ऑफ मिथिला वुड नेवर ड्रीम ऑफ यूजिंग. दैट मीन्स दे वुड नेवर डू दिस थिंग्स ऑन द things which they used, because they don't use these things like greeting cards and pen stands. They do use clothes, but they normally do it on walls or they do it on a paper, but they have not done on clothes or greeting cards and pen stands before. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, some women from the region were invited to Europe, Japan, Russia and the United States, where they represented India in cultural fairs and exhibitions. So during 1960s and early 70s, some women of this region, means the women artists who used to make paintings, they were invited to represent India. That means they were sent to these countries on behalf of India to represent India in cultural fairs and exhibitions. That means the trade fair where people from different countries come and exhibit their items or display their items and show their culture. In the same way, these women were also sent by India to show our Indian culture. Now, one such artist was Ganga Devi. Born in the village Chatara, Ganga Devi had a happy childhood. Like most children of her age, she grew up playing with dolls and observing her elder sister became skilled in the art form. Sometimes Ganga Devi would assist in making art objects for a forthcoming wedding. So one such artist, means one such women artist, was Ganga Devi. She is very well known and she was born in village. And she also had a happy childhood just like other children of her age. She grew up playing with the dolls and observing her elder sister. That means we have learnt that before the younger one has to assist the elders and they have to learn this skill and talent, and once they learn this skill and talent, they can do it by themselves. That means the paintings would be done by them once they are skillful or once they have learnt that talent. So Ganga Devi also learnt that talent from her elder sister. And what would Ganga Devi do? She would assist. That means she would help in making art objects for forthcoming wedding. That means whenever there was a wedding going to come, at that moment she used to help other ladies over there in the village to make art objects. But when it was the time of Ganga Devi's own marriage, her luck ran out. That means she was not very good, or her luck was not that good when it was the time of her own marriage. Her husband's family lived in despondency. That means a state of low spirits from loss of hope or courage. So her husband's family was not that well to do and they lived in dejection, or you can say they were always in a sad or depressed mood because they were not so rich, or you can say they were always sad and depressed. It was difficult for her to get a full meal a day. That means their earnings were not enough that they could even get a full meal for a day. That means 3 times that we eat in a day, She was not able to get that much amount of food. Ganga Devi was anxious and disheartened. Over here, you can see anxious. It means that she was worried and she was very nervous, and disheartened. That means she gave up hope. She was like, I am very sad that I am not able to get something which she deserved, and in desperation she went to her guru. Desperation, that means in the state of despair. She went to her guru. Her guru advised her to take up commercial paintings. Commercial means, as I told you before, it means that to make the paintings which would earn her money or make profits. Soon Ganga Devi's diligence and talent were recognized. Soon her talent and diligence, that means her efforts, her tireless and careful efforts were recognized. That means soon everybody came to know Ganga Devi because of her talent. Within a year of painting, Ganga Devi received the National Master Craftsman Award. Within a year of painting, that means as soon as she started making paintings and selling them on commercial basis, it became famous. She got recognition, and she also received National Master Craftsman Award. The award brought her some income and some international fame. Fame means popularity. So she got some international popularity also, and she also got some money because of it. She was sent by the Indian government to participate in an exhibition in Moscow. So she was also sent to an exhibition in Moscow. There she saw a hotel with electric lights, restaurants and elevators. So being a villager, she didn't saw city life or a different country life, which she was able to see when she went to Moscow. Over there she saw many different things, and she kept those things in her mind. And when she came back, she just made all the images that were in her mind on the paper in the form of painting. Her mind was alive with all the strange scenes she had seen, the people she had met, and she needed to record all her experiences on paper. So when she went to Moscow, she noticed and observed many things like hotel with electric lights, restaurants and elevators. Elevators means lift. Her mind was alive. She kept all the images alive in her mind. It was like everything got recorded in her brain, and she wanted to take a printout of those images. So she took a printout. How did she took a printout? She made paintings of those images. She shared all her experiences on the paper in the form of painting. As with other Mithila painters, Ganga Devi drew inspiration for her paintings from the activities she saw around her, as well as from the rich stores of folktales and legends in Madhubani. So just like other Mithila painters, but Ganga Devi was the one who got inspiration. That means she was inspired, or she idealized her paintings from the activities that she saw around her. Means the activities which were going around her, she used to take a printout, or you can say she used to copy it down on the paper in the form of painting. And she also made paintings related to folk tales. Folk tales means the stories which were very popular in history. So she used to make the paintings on such folk tales and legends in Madhubani. Legends mean the very popular people in Madhubani. With money provided by Master Craftsman Award, she bought a farmland. So with the money that she was awarded as a National Master Craftsman Award, she bought a farmland. And her success has led scores of other women to paint. Her success had led scores of other women to paint. By seeing her success, many other women over there in her village also started to paint and also started earning money. Many of these women have also been recognized as artists of national and international stature. So these women who got inspired by her success, they are also now, some of them are recognized as artists on national and international level, and they also have that much importance, just like Ganga Devi had. Content with life and her art, Ganga Devi died battling cancer. She was happy once she got the recognition. She was happy and satisfied with her life and her art. She was happy with her life and her art. But after some time, she died battling cancer. She had once said, "I was just like Ahilya before receiving the national award. I had been condemned to be in a stone, but I was freed." She said once while she received the national award that she considered herself just like Ahilya. Ahilya is a mythological character who has been changed by a curse into a stone, but was liberated from the curse by Lord Rama. So Ahilya is a character who was cursed to become a stone. She was cursed to become a stone, but when Lord Rama touched her, she got liberated from that curse and she again became a beautiful lady. In the same way, Ganga Devi also considered herself to be Ahilya, because before she received this national award, before she received recognitions, she considered herself to be very unlucky. Okay, so she thought that her life was condemned into a stone, but as soon as she got the recognition and as soon as she received the national award, she felt that she was being freed. That means she got the freedom from that unlucky destiny. So students, I hope you are clear with this chapter. If you have any doubts, you can ask me during the live class. So now we would be continuing with the exercise, that is reading 1 on page 111. So let's see over here. The earthquake in Mithila caused a great deal of damage but brought to light. What did it brought to light? You need to find out the correct option. So here option number 4 is right. The talent of its women. So the earthquake in Mithila caused a great deal of damage but brought to light the talent of its women. Let's see the second one. William Archer helped Mithila art get recognition by. So how did he got the Mithila art recognition? Getting it published for wider interest, becoming a painter himself, inviting historians and artists, or helping open training schools. So here the right answer is option 1, getting it published for wider interest. Let's see the third one. The girls of Mithila are encouraged to paint freely because women are head of the family. Ganga Devi was a woman. Men cannot paint, or it provides a means of income. So what do you think? What would be the right answer, students? Here the right answer is fourth option. It provides a means of income. Okay. So students, this exercise you have to do it in your notebook. Now let's move on to question number 2. Answer the following questions. In what way did the All India Handicrafts Board work for the cause of the people of Mithila? So here the answer is in 1966, when there was a drought in the region, All India Handicrafts Board sent an artist named Bhaskar Kulkarni to Mithila to encourage the women to make paintings on paper that they could sell in order to generate money for their families. So All India Handicraft Boards sent an artist named Bhaskar Kulkarni who encouraged the women over there to make paintings and generate money for their families. Let's see second question. How is the region of Mithila conducive to the art forms? The region of Mithila is conducive to the growth of art forms because it already has an illustrious creative history. The region is said to be the birthplace of Sita and the seat of Vedic learning. The relative isolation and fertile land makes for artistic activity and spiritual pursuits. So, the region of Mithila is considered to be conducive because of the illustrious creative history. That means the history which is being given example of, because it's a birthplace of Sita and also Vedic learning was flourished over there. Now let's see question number 3. Ganga Devi is an untrained but an accomplished artist. Do you agree? Give reasons. So here we have the answer. Ganga Devi did not have any formal training in the art. As you know that Ganga Devi did not have any training. She just learnt it from her elder sister. Yet she was exceptionally good at her work, perhaps because it was in her blood. She had been brought up with a healthy dose of tradition and inspiration. Like most girls from the region, she too started young with bare minimum supplies, but her passion helped her hone her artistic skills. So Ganga Devi was not trained in a formal way, but the art was in her blood. She learnt everything as a tradition and she was inspired and she had passion about these paintings. So although she started with bare minimum supplies, that means she had only less or some or little of supplies, but her passion helped her to hone her artistic skills. Let's see the next question. What is the difference between Mithila art as it was done earlier and as it is done today? So what is the difference between the traditional way and modern way? Traditionally, Mithila art was done on walls, on paper make objects or on the sheets of paper. But today, because of the demand in cities, Mithila paintings are done on clothes, greeting cards and pen stands, which are then sold at crafts bazaars. So we have seen that traditionally this art was done on wall and paper make objects and sheets of paper, but nowadays it is done on clothes, greeting cards and pen stands, and then they are sold at craft bazaars. Now let's move on to reading 2, that is on page number 112. Let's see question number 1. Ganga Devi is a true hero. Despite being uneducated, she helped hundreds of women achieve their dreams. Justify the statement. So students, here this answer is the sample answer. If you want, you can write it by yourself. Despite being uneducated, Ganga Devi helped hundreds of women achieve their dreams. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, Ganga Devi was recognized as a great artist. She was invited to Moscow, where she represented India in cultural fairs and exhibitions. Her success and active encouragement led scores of other women to paint. She led the path that helped many others women achieve their dreams. So she was kind of leader who led others to achieve their dreams. Seeing her success, the other women artists also started painting and earned money, and they also got recognized on national and international level. Now let's see second question. After William Archer got the photographs of Mithila art published, the women there got the attention of the people and they began visiting the region. How do you think tourists help the people of an area? Give 3 advantages. Okay, so tourists help the people of an area in following way. First is popularize the local arts, traditions and customs. Bring an area and its people into prominence and help economically, that is by buying souvenirs, visiting local tourist sites, etc. Let's read the passage about this famous piece of art. Every year, over 10 million visitors from all over the world travel to Musée de Louvre in Paris to gaze in wonder at Leonardo da Vinci's famous portrait, the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is a 16th century portrait painted in oil on poplar wood by Leonardo da Vinci. It took da Vinci 4 years to complete the portrait. The painting depicts a seated woman whose facial expression is frequently described as enigmatic. The ambiguity of the subject's expression continues to fascinate people. For centuries afterwards, it is widely recognized as the most famous paintings in the world. Mona Lisa's mysterious smile has been discussed endlessly. So what words used in the passage mean the following? So over here the meaning is given of some words which are used in the passage. So let's see the first one, that is look in amazement. So the word that means look in amazement is gaze in wonder. So your answer number 1 is gaze in wonder. That is answer number 1. Second one is unexplained. That means enigmatic. Your answer number 2 is enigmatic. Third one, continuously. That means endlessly. So the word that means continuously is endlessly. Now the fourth one is extensively. That means widely. Answer number 4 is widely. And the fifth one is uncertainty. That means ambiguity. So the answer number 5 is ambiguity. So students, I hope that you are clear with this exercise. Anyway, vocabulary has not to be written in your notebook. You just have to write reading 1, reading 2 and meanings in your notebook. Till then, take care and see you soon, students.